I had spent years taking care of the old family house. Every weekend, every holiday, I was there, fixing broken pipes, repainting walls, tending the garden. While my sister Lila traveled, partied, and built her social life, I was the one keeping the house alive, making sure it didn't fall apart. The family party was supposed to be a celebration, a reunion after months apart. Instead, it became the night my world turned upside down. Lila had always enjoyed making digs at me. Still living like a hermit, she'd tease, and the crowd would laugh. I ignored it most of the time. But that evening, she went too far. I was showing my cousin the renovated patio when I heard shouting. My heart sank as I turned toward the living room. There she was, standing in the center of the crowd, champagne glass raised, pointing straight at me. "I'm the owner now. Get out." The room went silent. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. Everyone's eyes were on us. I blinked in disbelief. What are you talking about?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "I inherited the house. Everything here is mine now. Pack your things," she said, smirking. I stared at her. After all these years of work, of protecting this house, she had the audacity to kick me out? The irony stung. I had paid for minor repairs, kept the taxes up to date, and handled everything she couldn't be bothered with. And now she claimed it all? My chest tightened, but I forced myself to stay calm. I had learned that anger only gave her the satisfaction of seeing me lose control. I smiled slightly. "If you really own it, show me the papers, legally." Her smirk faltered. "I have the documents. They're with the lawyer." I nodded, outwardly unconcerned, but inside I was already planning. I had quietly prepared for a situation like this. Savings in place, legal advice ready, a strategy to protect what was rightfully mine. The crowd murmured. Some looked shocked, others concerned. No one expected this confrontation to go this far. I took a deep breath and said calmly, "Fine, let's handle it properly. But don't be surprised by the outcome." Then I turned and left the party, leaving her standing there, angry, confused, and unsure. And that moment marked the beginning of a chain of events that would completely change our family. The moment I left that party, I knew things would never be the same. Lila thought she had the upper hand, but I had quietly prepared for this. Over the next few weeks, I took the first steps to protect myself. I contacted a lawyer, gathered every document proving my contributions to the house, and made sure every repair, every payment, every improvement I had funded was clearly documented. Meanwhile, Leela started flaunting her ownership on social media. She posted photos of herself in the living room, in the garden I had maintained, even boasting about hosting small parties. Friends and distant relatives reached out, congratulating her, oblivious to the truth. Inside, I felt a mix of anger and determination. She could claim the title, but she could not erase the years I had invested. The tension between us grew. Family members started choosing sides, some quietly supporting me, others hesitantly siding with Lila. Parents avoided taking a clear stance, afraid of confrontation, but I could see their discomfort. The household was no longer a family. It had become a battlefield, every gathering a minefield of whispered arguments and pointed looks. Then one afternoon, my lawyer called. "We've reviewed everything. You have undeniable evidence of your contributions and financial involvement. Legally, you have a very strong case." I felt a surge of relief. Finally, there was a path to reclaiming not just what was mine, but the respect I had lost in front of everyone. The next family gathering came sooner than I expected, a casual dinner at our parents' house. Lila arrived, confident, smug, clearly ready to assert her control. I stayed composed, letting her make the first move. She immediately started directing everyone, ordering people around as though she were the rightful owner. I waited, calm, measured. My lawyer's advice ran through my mind. Patience, strategy, timing. Then I asked quietly, "Lila, may I see the legal documents you claimed give you ownership?" Her confident smile faltered. I can get them, she stammered. The room grew silent. All eyes shifted to us. My parents looked uneasy, unsure how to respond. The tension was palpable, heavier than it had ever been at any party before. I reached into my bag and pulled out a thick folder. Placing it on the table, I said, I believe these will clarify everything. As Lila opened the folder and began flipping through the pages, I watched her face change. Shock, disbelief, panic. It was a mixture of emotions I had never seen before. The confident, mocking sister everyone knew was suddenly gone. And in that moment, I realized everything was about to change. Lila's hands shook as she flipped through the folder. Her confident smirk had vanished, replaced with disbelief and panic. I sat back calmly, letting the silence stretch. The room, once filled with murmurs and laughter, was now heavy with tension. Every family member was watching, waiting for what would happen next. The folder contained every piece of evidence I had meticulously collected. Receipts for repairs I had paid for, invoices for contractors, bank statements proving I had covered property taxes, and photographs documenting every improvement I had made over the years. It was more than enough to prove that I had been the one maintaining the house while she did nothing. Where did all this come from? She finally stammered. Her voice was shaky, barely audible. I smiled faintly. From reality, I replied. Everything here proves what I've done, and legally, it's enough to challenge your claim. She turned to my parents, pleading silently with her eyes. But they didn't answer. I could see the doubt creeping into their expressions. For the first time, they weren't on her side. I continued, my voice calm but firm. Lila, you may have inherited the title, but ownership isn't just about a piece of paper. It's about responsibility, care, and effort. And this folder proves who truly earned it. Lila sank into a chair, her face pale. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. The crowd of relatives shifted uncomfortably, realizing the truth of the situation. People I had grown up with, cousins, aunts, uncles, began whispering among themselves, eyes darting between Lila and me. Then I dropped the final bomb. I've also secured my own legal claim on this property. I've filed a formal case to recognize my contributions and rights. The court will see the truth, and it will be undeniable. Lila's shoulders slumped. Her bravado had completely crumbled. For years, she had mocked me, belittled my work, and flaunted a title she thought meant everything. But now, the tables had turned. I looked around the room, meeting the eyes of my parents. Their disappointment in her actions was obvious, though they didn't say a word. And that's when it hit me. The family I thought I had lost years ago was finally seeing me as an equal, someone who deserved respect. You told me I had to leave, I said softly, glancing at Lila. And I did. But leaving didn't mean losing. It meant building my own future. One that wasn't dependent on anyone else. A heavy silence filled the room. Lila opened her mouth again, but I didn't let her finish. I stood and said, This house, these memories, the work I've done, it's not just about property. It's about respect. And today, I reclaim both. And as the party ended, I realized something important. Sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's preparing to come back stronger and proving your worth when nobody expects it.